Hey there, it's RJ Hale from Halestorm, and may the rock be with you.
RJ, how are you, mate?
Good, man. Thanks for taking the time.
Anytime for you guys. You're one of my favorite bands. It's the best.
Oh, good. Right. I love the name of your show. Are you a Star Wars nerd or?
Well, of course, it happens.
Me
But
too.
there we go. We'll talk about that later.
I'm down. I really kind of want to pick your brain on what you think of the newer Star Wars compared to the original, because
All right.
I'm torn. I'm torn about it,
We can have a chat about that. Now, we've spoken
Okay.
a number of times, but it was also great to see you in Nashville last year at the Marvelous 3 tribute show. We ran into each other at that tribute show.
Oh God, that's right. That's
Yeah, it
right. That was the last time we hung out. I know that was so fun. That was a chaotic night, but it was great to hang with you. Yeah.
was amazing, man. But it's been 6 years since we've chatted this way. So let's catch up. How have the last 6 years been for you?
Great. We had a pandemic. I don't know if you heard.
Oh,
But a lot of positive came out of the pandemic. I started another project called Chemical Fire, which I'm really stoked about. I started a YouTube channel called Dr. Magnificent, where we talk about fragrances. I review fragrances. I test them out on camera. I give recommendations to anyone who wants to smell really good. Because I've become kind of a fragrance nerd as well. Again, just the pandemic probably pulled that out of me. But then again, I've always kind of like had fragrances on tour because you don't know when you're going to find a shower, so you just kind of keep them on hand to
yeah.
smell nice for meet and greets. So I started a YouTube channel called Dr. Magnificent where I do that, and that's a really fun outlet for me. And then also I got engaged.
Yes, you did. I met your lovely fiance in Nashville, which was awesome.
That's right, she was at
Yeah,
that show. Yeah.
that was great.
And I
Now,
got to sing some Butch Walker, which was really, really, really an honor.
it is an honor. And I was hanging out with them upstairs and they were watching everyone. It was just so much fun. It was so good.
Yeah, that's what you know what I'm actually really glad I didn't know he was there until after, because I would have been really nervous, I think.
Great fun. Matt, of course, we're here though, Matt. You're headed back to Australia for Knotfest, as well as a couple of headline shows, which is amazing. How do you put a set list together for something like a really heavy festival compared to your own shows? Is it difficult?
Well, I think we're playing an hour, so it's not too bad. The difference between a headline set and a festival set is it kind of takes the same amount of energy, because for the festival set you have much shorter break times in between songs, so it's more of a sprint than a
Mm,
marathon. So we get to cram in a good amount of songs, and we try to keep it balanced between, like, obviously we want to play the songs that everybody wants to hear, but we can throw in some fun ones and some curveballs here and there. And also we like to switch it up from show to show, because we know a lot of fans are going to be traveling to all the cities. So
yeah.
we're kind of used to playing a slightly altered set every day. So I think we'll be able to get a lot of fun stuff in.
Excellent. Now there are some killer bands on the bill, a lot of them that you've played with over the years. Any excited that you're excited to see that you haven't yet seen before?
Well, definitely Pantera, because I
Mm,
always loved Pantera, and I never, unfortunately, got to see them back in their heyday. I wish I could have seen them with the brothers, because
yep.
Vinny was a really good friend of ours, and I was so sad to see him pass away, and I'm still sad every day. He was just such a great supporter of up and coming bands, and we were one of the up and coming bands when we met him, and he was just so stoked to meet us, and we're like, why? Like, you're Vinnie Paul. Like, why are you excited to meet us? He was always kind of like he always was kind of a mentor as a drummer and as a buddy. So we did a lot of tours with him. Anyway, also really excited to see Skindred, of course, because we're
Mm,
good friends with them, and they should be bigger than they are in America. I feel like they have a good fan base here, but people need to know more about them. They are just one of the most, you can't help but get amped up when you see them live. They know how to work a crowd. So I'm really, really stoked. They're the kind of band that when they're playing, every other band on the lineup is side stage watching.
nice.
They have that power. Also, the Who are going to be there. The Who, not
Yeah.
the pinball wizard
Who.
Who. And they were one of the first bands we toured with, kind of just towards the tail end of when it was safe to tour again after the pandemic. So
Mm.
always amped to see them, because they really bring their culture into their show, and it's a spiritual experience
Oh,
to
it's something
say the
you've
least.
never seen before. It's so surreal that it's
Yeah.
just
So
amazing. Look,
The lineup looks really incredible. Wish Slipknot was there because I love Slipknot, but we're
next
playing
year.
Knotfest, but without Slipknot. What the
Not
hell?
not fest. Not
I
Slipknot
know.
fest.
Not
Next year.
Knotfest is what.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
no,
you guys are a
no.
band for me that truly shine live. You always have. How for you has the Hailstorm live show evolved over the years and time together to basically where you're at the moment?
How has it evolved over the years? Well, uh, in the early days, in our early 20s, um, we couldn't afford production. We couldn't afford a light show. We couldn't afford any effects or anything special. So basically, we had a backline and the house lights. So, from the beginning, our MO has always been like, I guess if we can't afford production, we are the production. So we have to put on a lot of energy. And to this day, we still love to do that. We love, because we figured out a long time ago that the audience isn't going to give us energy unless we make the first move. So we give the energy out, and then they react and give it back to us. And it just keeps on kind of ranking up. So the energy is always incredible. But now we're able to have some lights. We're able to have some stage productions and stuff like that. And I think that we have put more priority towards playing a lot better than we used to, because I think we used to be a lot sloppier than we are now. So luckily, just from doing it so long, we can keep the energy, but we can also play the parts better, play the songs better now than we used to.
That's great. Now, you've been to Australia a number of times over the years. Do you have a favorite memory of a tour down here?
I'm Everything about Australia is just paradise for me. I just love being. I I don't know. This is gonna sound so like pedestrian, but it's the food. It's the food. It's
Okay.
got to be. I just love the fact that you're down there. You can go anywhere. You can go to a 7-Eleven and you can find delicious, healthy. Maybe to you it's not, but to us in America, like you can eat anything down there and feel fantastic, and it's delicious and it's healthy. And every time I go to Australia, I'm like, shit, I'm getting ripped down here. Like I'm eating really healthy. And of course, it's sunny and beautiful. So you want to get out and walk all over the city. You're getting your steps in. And so I feel really physically and mentally healthy every time I'm down there, just because I'm surrounded by beautiful surroundings and incredible people. Like y'all are just so crazy nice. Like,
Yeah,
why do you have to be so damn nice? You're like right kind of neck and neck with Canada as far as niceness goes. You
I'll
might
take
have a
that.
different opinion, but from an outside perspective, everyone that I've met in Australia is cool as hell. So
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to the weather, the food, the people, and the ravenous crowds. It's gonna be feral, especially
sounds
these
good to me.
festivals.
I like it.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of new music, we had Back from the Dead out 2 years ago. Can we expect new music soon?
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna be I think shortly after this tour, we're gonna be heading in the studio
Good.
pretty soon and making
No,
some new stuff. So
let's leave it at that.
yeah.
I like that. We'll wait for more on that and we'll talk again then. Now, your first album, the one that I found you on back in 2009, 15 years ago, man. Let's look back. What do you remember about releasing that debut album?
Oh God. I mean, we really unsure of what the future was going to be. But more excited. I think we were much more nervous releasing the second album because we're like, okay, if this one flops, then our career's over. But we were just amped to be able to get it out there because we had made it and then we had to sit on it and wait for it to get mixed and mastered and wait for the release. And when it finally came out, it was like finally. So it was just nerves and excitement all around. And that really hasn't changed actually. Every time we release an album, there's always that voice like thinking like, is anybody gonna like this? So I guess not much has really changed.
Yeah, and they do like it. Now, looking back over your career, it can be very easy to say what can change over time. What's the one thing, though, that's always remained the same about Hailstorm?
Um, we've always kind of prided ourselves by being one of the few bands that doesn't use any backtracks or any type of sound enhancement. We always felt it was more important for us to get the playing right within the four of us and to get the sound right with our playing, and that's always been a really it's an uphill battle, but it's worth it, because live we don't even play to a click track,
Mm,
and without a click track, we're able to adjust the tempos and let the songs breathe and kind of react to the energy of the crowd. But it's also harder for me because I have to really focus on not playing too fast or too slow. So that's always, I think that's always just kind of been a unique thing about us, is that we just don't want to. And also, we're not very technologically savvy, so we know that if we start running backtracks and stuff like that, like sure enough, something will go wrong. So that's kind of always been one of our main objectives, is just wanting to be as raw as possible.
Yeah, it's great and it works. So what's on your list of things to do as a band you haven't yet had the chance to do?
Um, hmm. Haven't. I'd love to do more shows in Asia.
Hmm.
We've only done Japan. We
Wow.
haven't done any other Asian country, so I'd love to get to that part of the world. I love to play in parts of we've never played in parts of Africa, so there's a few continents to check off the old bucket list.
I'm surprised
We love
with the
traveling.
Asia stuff.
What's that?
I'm surprised with the you've only played Japan.
Yeah, I am too. I don't know why. It's just I don't know. That's just couldn't work out the logistics or whatever. It's definitely something to do with that, with traveling or something. So I'm hoping that we can tick off a few more continents off the old bucket list, because we love
All
to
right.
travel. We love to immerse in different cultures, like Australia, and so it'd be really cool to see more of the world that we haven't seen yet.
Excellent. I love that. Now, I've just started asking this question because I think it's quite good and I'd like to get people's reaction to it. If there was to be a biopic made about Halestorm, what would you want it to be called?
Oh man. Um, well, here we go. Because I feel like that's kind of been our way of making any kind of big decision. It's like, well, what should we do? All right, well, let's just do it and see what happens. So it's like, well, here we go.
What about, well, Hale we go.
Or the hail with it.
There you go. We're on it. Write these down. This is good.
There we go. The hell with it.
Now, what I do with everyone, we've done this before. Let's look ahead to the future with a prediction. I want you to finish this sentence for me. By the end of 2024, Halestorm will,
Be in the studio, probably.
good. Yep. Not probably, will be in the studio. Yep. Let's do that.
Actually, definitely, yeah.
Right.
Until Christmas. Usually, probably up until Christmas Eve.
Yeah, right. The last minute, 11:59.
Yeah.
You're done. Right. Looking forward to that. Now, mate, as you know,
That is
we've
cool.
chatted for the first time 12 years ago. We chatted. So it's amazing to see how far you've come as a band and that you're still here doing it, that I'm still here doing it. So it's awesome to be able to see you guys out there doing it. So please send my best to the rest of the guys. I'll see you on Wednesday in Sydney and on Saturday at Knotfest in Sydney as well. So
I was going to say that congrats to you, too, for still being here. And look at us go. We're still doing it. We're still
there you
here.
go.
We haven't
Yeah.
gone anywhere, people.
No. So let's grab
Keep
a
up the
beer on
great work.
Wednesday in Sydney and we'll have a chat about Star Wars.
Yes, we definitely need to do that. And congratulations on having the coolest name for your show.
Love your work. Thanks, mate. Always a pleasure. I will talk to you on Wednesday.
So long, MTRBWYs.
See you, mate.
That's your fans.
It is. Bye.
MTRBWY.
Have a good
You
one.
ever get that?
Always. MTRBWY.
MTRBWY. Okay.
Yeah.